Is it time to change the requirements for plumbers? I've been a plumber for more than 40 years, and not much has changed regarding the requirements. They actually went up. The world has changed. Before, you had to learn plumbing by either going to open shop and being trained by a licensed plumber or going through the union training program. Now we all have a full plumbing course right in our pockets. Some high schools are teaching plumbing. In Texas, they've actually got it set up where you can enroll in high school, go to your freshman year, then decide you want to be a plumber. And for your sophomore, junior, and senior year, if you take plumbing, when you get out, you're eligible to go take your tradesman plumbing exam. Now, when I had my company, that's about a $52,000 a year job starting out. I was paying $25 an hour for tradesmen. The reason is you can bring them in and train them, and then you can put them in a truck and they are a revenue generating machine. There are a lot of opportunities to learn. The world has sped up a lot. So why are the requirements for plumbers the same? I don't know what the requirements are where you live, but here in Texas, the requirements for a tradesman license are 4,000 hours. That is 2 full years. Now, I think that's pretty good. The journeyman is 8,000 hours, 4 years. Now, the difference in those two is a tradesman can work on 1 family or 2 family dwellings. So houses, duplexes, things like that. Once you're a tradesman, you can go in and do anything that a journeyman can do in those type buildings. But a journeyman, well, now you can do that on commercial buildings, apartment complexes, industrial facilities, anything at all like that. Then after that, you move up to a master license. And if you've got a master license, well, you can own your own company. You can pull permits. You can do anything in the plumbing industry that special endorsements are required for. So it takes another 4 years to get your master's license if you have not gone through a DOL, Department of Labor training program like the union or PHCC. So there's a lot of great things there to look at. If you do go through a Department of Labor training program or PHCC, it only takes 1 more year to get your master's license. Now think about that, guys. We're saying it takes 8 years to become a master plumber in Texas. Well, it takes 8 years to become an attorney. It takes 8 years to become a doctor. Now, granted, you're paying for that education, which to me is way worse because you are paying to learn these things, where in the plumbing industry, also in electrical and HVAC, you get paid to learn from the day you start. The requirements though, man, is it time we shorten that? People have access to education online 24 hours a day, and that's what most of them are doing. I used to have an apprentice that literally would come in, learn something during the day, and he would go home at night and find different ways to do it. Then he could come in the next day and say, hey, you know what? We did it this way, but here might be a better way. Kids have access to online training. So if they're learning more, they're learning faster. Do we still need to have 4,000 and 8,000 hours in Texas as the requirement for a license? I don't think so. When I was trying to get my journeyman exam, which was the first exam offered, it was 6,000 hours. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a few years back. But I remember when they changed it to 8,000, and I thought, why? To be honest, it didn't even take me 6,000 hours. I worked a lot of overtime, worked a lot of weekends, but I would also go to the library and study. Now, that's things that a lot of kids weren't doing. So I wanted to learn more, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to do it faster. Nowadays, with a phone in their hand, kids can learn more about the plumbing code in just a few minutes than I did in hours at the library. So I want to talk about some things that are really important to me. My thought is we need to find a way to shorten these hours. Does that sound crazy? Absolutely. In California, they can bring an apprentice in, bring a helper in, bring whatever he is in, and train him. And I talked to one plumbing company owner out there that says he can bring in somebody green, put them through 9 weeks of training, and literally put them in a truck where they can generate revenue after that. Now, as the responsible master plumber, you're responsible for everything they do. So you're not just going to send some goofball out that doesn't know what he's doing just to make money. You've still got to do the job right. You've still got to try to get 5-star reviews on every job people go on. So you want them learning how to do things right. But he had a really neat training program. 3 days a week, they were in a lab with trainers, and you've seen some of the trainers that I've got built. We built those for those exact same reasons. Can we bring somebody in and teach them how to rebuild a valve, how to install a toilet, how to rebuild a toilet, how to change out a lavatory faucet, how to change out all the parts in it? He was bringing people in and doing that 3 days a week, and then 2 days a week, he had them riding in a van, going out with people that had already been through this training program. So they understood what needed to be done, how it needed to be done, and the right way to do it. So what do we need to do to change things in Texas? Well, to be honest, I would love to see the tradesmen come down to 2,000 hours, 1 year. If you give me an apprentice for 1 year and I have the ability to train him and make him better, I'm not saying let's give up the test. There is no test for them in California. But if I can take a tradesman, if I can take a young person right out of high school and in 1 year teach them everything that they need to know to walk into a house and do simple things like fix a garbage disposal, maybe test a water heater, do different things like this, pull and reset a toilet. I mean, how many years does it take you to learn to pull and reset a toilet? How many years does it take you to change a faucet? It doesn't take that long. So my thought is, we literally lower the requirements to say, look, you've got to have at least 1 year to become a tradesman. That way, small service companies can hire these people in, train them, and they are putting them in a position to create revenue for their companies in a year. Now, am I doing this just for the revenue? No, we don't have enough people in the trades. And guys, we need more people. So if you're a plumber and you've done your 4,000 hours, 8,000 hours, or 16,000 hours, whatever it is that you've put in to get the licenses that you have, I want you to think about that. If I could have taken you in 1 year and put you in a position where you can move up and make more money, why is this important? Because we need more plumbers. As long as handymen are out there taking the work away from us and doing the jobs improperly, it's going to keep happening. But why is that happening? Because of supply and demand. We don't have enough plumbers to fill the calls that we get in. So what we have to do is we have to take the ones that we have, accept the jobs that we can, probably the ones that we're going to make more money on, which would be logical. And then we can't get to the toilet that needs to be rebuilt, the lavatory faucet that needs to be replaced. And the homeowners are like, look, my handyman can do that. Well, he can. But what if he creates a cross connection? What if he does something that he is literally unaware of? Now, is that hard to do? Sometimes it is. But some of them know nothing at all about the plumbing code. They were never taught. In Texas, and this is all I'm talking about right now, but I would love to know, what are the requirements in your state? Or if you're a homeowner, do you think that it really should take 2 years, 4 years, or 8 years for people to get certain licenses? I don't. Guys, I used to think that. I used to be hardcore about that. But now I start looking at the training out there, start looking at the training that I'm coming up with. With our app, to be honest, people can learn things that are going to help them get through faster. But my thought is, if you've got a license of any sort, do you think that we could train people in 1 year, 2,000 hours, to get their tradesman license? Do you think that we could train people in 2 years, 4,000 hours, to get their tradesman license? And do they really need to go another 4 years to get their master's or not? I know some people that literally went through PHCC just so they could get their master license quicker, just so they could open their own plumbing company. And they did really, really well. So my thing is, we're not all built the same. But if you give me a young apprentice and after a year, I determine, hey, this guy's ready for his test, let me send him down there. So guys, I would really love to hear your comments about this, because this is something that I think about and talk about a lot. We need to get more people in the trades, but we need to make it an easier path to get to that license if they are capable. Now, I'm not saying we just bring in anybody off the truck and hand them a license and say, there, you're a plumber now. So please Leave me your comment. I would love to hear what you think. And look, if you're like me, if it took you that many hours, I completely understand. The good thing is, once I got into the union, I learned to get my med gas. Then I learned about the WSPS, the multi-purpose residential fire protection system. I got every endorsement for my master license that I could because I wanted to be able to do more. I'm just saying, let's get them in on a quicker path to help them make money sooner. That way, it seems like a good benefit to them, and it's a good opportunity for them to get in and start doing the things they want to do in their lives. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. If you love this video, I definitely think you're going to like this one.